IDBI board to discuss selling management control to LIC in its AGM in August. So we have with the story. They've decided to sell 43% as IDBI Bank has shown significant turnaround in operations. Not so sure what that means. IDBI has shown significant turnaround in the PCR ratio and cost to income ratio. That really may not be true. I mean, there is a huge challenge with IDBI Bank. We know that the kind of write-offs they've done for the quarter gone by also, and the write-off number was like in 25 or 26%. So I don't think there is a significant turnaround despite a 10,000 crore capital infusion. If the turnaround was really real, they would have not sold it. The fact that IDBI Bank is in a desperate situation, government has no more capital to capitalize them. Their survival actually, they are on the brink of getting extinct, so to speak. And that is the reason why government is really looking at arm twisting LIC into investing into IDBI Bank, and if there is more capital requirement, LIC will always have that additional cushion to invest more of policy shareholder money into IDBI Bank. Is this the best practice? Of course not. But I mean, ultimately it's between the government, LIC and IDBI Bank, because the government is the owner. But from a market standpoint, this is something which is not going to be, this is going to be leaving a lot of bitter aftertaste, so to speak. First oil marketing companies, then this entire way in which our disinvestment has been done, and now this entire IDBI Bank and LIC issue. It just tells you that somewhere there is desperation, and in that desperation, I guess best practices are being ignored.
And it's not just taxpayers' money anymore, it's policyholders' money,
exactly.
Which is now the government tapping into. And I'm not quite sure as to how this would go down well. This will definitely sour some sentiments.
You know, the book of LIC is so large that from an IDBI investment in the LIC book would be hidden somewhere.
Yeah.
And LIC would come back and say, look at all the investments we've done in all the PSU companies so far on a long-term basis, which is 5 to 10 year basis, they've given return. Now, what will happen to IDBI Bank after 5-7 years? Who's bothered? Who's seen? From an LIC, from an unit holder, from an policy shareholder standpoint, this is like burning of good money. This is not the way how you really want to be conducting your operations. This is, if not daylight robbery, these are not good corporate governance practices.
In fact, Ruchi Bhatia is online with us. Let's quickly take it across to her. She's the one who's been top of the game, breaking this exclusive story. And Ruchi, now there's a timeline, it seems, that IDBI board is going to be discussing selling the management control to LIC, and that I believe is in the month of August. Tell us more. What is it that you're picking up?
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, as you rightly pointed out, this issue has now become a political hot potato with the senior Congress leaders as well discussing this and talking about it. What we are given to understand is that, yes, there is a timeline in place now. The IDBI board will be discussing selling of the management control to LIC in its AGM in the month of August. Now, remember, while on one hand there are talks about why IDBI Bank, given the fact that, it already has such high NPAs of over 25% out of its loan book, the government believes that, IDBI Bank has shown some sort of a progress in terms of some sort of a turnaround in terms of their operating profits, provision coverage ratio, their recovery performance, their cost to income ratio. All parameters have shown significant improvement over the last couple of months ever since that turnaround plan was put in place. As far as the LIC's board is concerned, the government has already given the advantages to LIC of taking over IDBI Bank. And also remember, Section 6(2)(h) of the LIC Act already permits taking over any business that may add to LIC's business. So the government believes that, yes, right now the IDBI Bank is undergoing some sort of a turnaround, but over the long term, this is going to be a good bet if LIC takes over. But having said that, the point that was raised by Nikunj is a very important one. This is the money of public, this is the money of unit holders, and what right does the government have to push LIC in this case to take over one of the worst performing assets, one of the worst performing banks?
That indeed is the case, and I think that's what we are talking and discussing out here. Ruchi, I think it'll be still early days to assess whether this will be a model benchmark that the government may resort to in the future as well.